But anyway, it's just pull it to the arm fit, and then just pop it to the wrist. So 1, 2, 1, 2. You just want to get real good at that. And then this needs to push it until you feel my lat here, and then this knee needs to control the outside. That holds your shin, and then that locks here. So that this should be there. Now what I need to be able to do is go. If it's all I'm trying to do is take your entire foot and lock it to my core. So I want to feel your toes bend into my lap. So bend their toes to your lap, pull the instep to your pec, push the knee in here, push the palm here, and then pull
That's
it all
why you're
together,
supposed to be sitting down.
and then breathe. And then everything else with your legs, it's just like super extra strong. So anything you do with your legs, whether it's your knee, that's just extra, just snap it off. If you want to feel each,
Let me do that drill real quick so you can check it.
just catch the heel.
Catch the heel?
Pull into your toe. One, pop. That's it.
Dude,
Yeah.
that.
So 1,
Yeah.
2, yep, 3, 4, 5. Now,
Oh, I need to be pushing
no,
this.
don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. This is okay. This and your hips is to break it in half. And then do the grip. Okay. So if you're having to do this or this to make it tight,
Doing wrong.
it's wrong. Okay. It should be really tight, and then this should be to snap it in half.
But
That's your power. But okay. So now pull this. So it's pulling into your lat. Bend his toes around that lat, and then push it all together. Like pull and push, and then breathe when you tap. Yep. And when you expand your lungs, that should be enough to start tapping. Then if he's really tough, now you do everything you would normally do with your legs and your hips, and that's what snaps it in half. What are you going to say about it?
don't do that.
Normally, here's what I want you to think about. You've got my foot. You fall over to finish it. It does not hurt me until that hip comes through and starts pressing. So you had no power really until you start breaking. So since I don't feel any pain, I don't feel any power, I don't feel any confusion, I start fighting, I start scrambling. I can think clearly. Should I grab this gi? Should I hand fight? Should I control this hip? When I grab it, it starts hurting immediately. It's like it's in a trap. And then they're like, okay, this is all bad. So now they're thinking, okay, I'm already wrong. What am I doing? And then you wrap the legs around and snap it. So in the same amount of time, but they're not allowed to think clearly. And then like I said, normally all they got to do, like it only breaks this away. So as long as I stop, like I said, like in the beginning, if I pull your hips back, or if I push your hips back, then I've stopped it. And it's going to be uncomfortable, but you're not really going to break it. It's just uncomfortable. But this, I can break it up, down, left, or right, and that changes the game because whatever option they choose doesn't really help. So that makes it a lot harder to escape, a lot harder to defend.
See, that makes sense now. Like when I go to other gyms and stuff, I'm playing legs with guys, and they think I'm just being stubborn and they're having to let. But I don't feel the threat of a possible break. Like when I was training with Jason, I knew when he had a good one and when he didn't, because we played legs back and forth all the time. And if the grip was firm and nothing could move, I knew that was tap time. You know, some of these guys are grabbing such sloppy grips. It's like, okay, I got a little time to play, and it allows me to grab their legs. Like you said, sometimes I bait and give them my legs so that I can have theirs. I play a lot. Man, that's
There's
crazy.
a lot of people, and they're like, you know, they're black belts, they're brown belts, they're dangerous, but their legs are like white belt, blue belt.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
But because it's cool now, you know, I've been doing it for like 30 years. So
Right.
It's cool. But so to me, it's just like some white belt trying to catch you in a gi choke. You're like, that's cute. You know? Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so it's real. They're getting better. Like they're on the track, they're trying, but they're still 20 years behind what's out there. You know, like if you go like the old boys and them, they're not. What people are saying, like cutting edge stuff that people are doing, is very basic, very fundamental. There's YouTube videos of me doing 20 years ago. You know, it's not that difficult to do. You know, like and what they're doing now is like, and see if this makes sense in your brain. And when you go, oh man, but. The leg locks they're doing now are leg locks to fight jiu-jitsu guys. But we're doing leg locks to fight leg lock guys. Totally different. It's not the same. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, what they're doing now is about as to me, to be fair, it's on a level of Hoist Gracie and UFC 1, 2, 3 doing jiu-jitsu to beat a stand-up karate guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's because the karate guy, doesn't have no idea what the hell you're doing or why you're doing it. And he, I feel like I'm winning. You're on your back, I'm punching you. And so it's the same thing, like the things that they're doing, like because you're like a jiu-jitsu, he's on his back, he's putting his feet on you. That's really stupid.
That's stupid. Yeah.
If you're a leg lock guy. But then leg lock guys don't do that stuff, and then the counters and stuff like that. So, and I always, like back in the early 80s, I fought, I was doing PK karate. And we thought we were the best, because regularly you had the traditional karate guys doing forms and katas and point sparring and trying not to touch you, and then we were actually punching you, so we were boxing and we were trying to kick you really hard. And so I fought a guy from Charles Sarasuti's gym out of Minnesota that did Muay Thai, and I was like, oh, what's the difference? And they're like, well, you can kick in the legs. Okay, thought you're gonna like I'm gonna kick you in the head. You wanna kick me in the leg? That's great. I'm gonna kick you in your head. Okay. And then, but afterwards, I had a whole new understanding because like they're kicking with their shins and not the top of the foot, and that was like really changing in the 80s. We've never seen nothing like that, And I would block like you'd block karate kicks, and it looked like I had golf balls shoved underneath my forearms because it didn't dawn on me that you really shouldn't put your hand in front of a shin. It dawns on you after a round or two. So I was like, I think I'm gonna start doing that now. It seems like better. It's the same thing. So right now it's just leg lock people catching jiu-jitsu people. Right. It's still not leg lock people catching leg lock people too much. That's a different. Even now, I see it like two guys they're kind of good at leg locks, and then one of them chickens out. It's the same. If you see stand up, and two guys are both heavy hitters, one of them says, "I'm going to the ground."
Yeah.
They only take 3 or 4 really hard shots, and occasionally, but a lot of times not so much. A lot of times, as soon as one really gets rocked, they're like, okay, enough of that. Especially if he has any kind of wrestling or any kind of ground game, he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with leg locks. So I see two guys, like I've done it where some guys that are like they're good at leg locks. They're catching one people legs. And I start doing leg locks, and then they go, oh, we're coming up here. We're going to play it. They don't want to do it anymore. They're like, okay, that didn't work. And so now I'm confused.
Yeah.
Because they'll catch me like in their best leg lock, and then I just walk through it, and they're like, okay, well, I'm not going to do it anymore. But that's not what you have to do. That's the guy that you need to keep doing them with, because unless it's a real fight. But other than that, that's where you're fixing to learn something. Because right now, and I fell into this back 15 years ago. Every time I caught some karate guy's foot, every time I caught some jiu-jitsu guy's foot, they just tapped immediately. Especially after the Brazilians, they helped us get like a huge ego, because they're like, they'll kill you. They're going to rip your legs off. They're going to rip your feet off. You can't just tap. Just get out of it. That's illegal. It's horrible. Don't do it. So we dealt with that for over a decade of just like, if you do foot locks, you're just dirty. You're just cheating. So we're like, okay, great. Just keep losing then.
And that's the story behind the whole GF team versus the Gracies.
Yeah.
They were catching the Gracies with foot locks, and they called it the poor man's technique.
Right.
That's what the Gracies called it.
And like I was friends with Enzo before he got all popular. We used to follow guys into Brazil and shit before he got rich. And he was really good at leg locks way back in like 93, 94. Enzo was, because he didn't deal with Machados. And his first guys was with them too. And they were doing all the sambo and doing stuff. And they had trained with Gene and Procore in California way back in that time. So they were already doing that stuff. Voicing them. Like, no, I'm not doing that. So mostly Oregon, like I said, it's not this one. I went with, I was traveling around with Hoist, and he has one of Horian's sons is with him. Really nice guy, super, like a priest kind of, like everything's super nice, doesn't want to hurt nobody, super great guy. But anyway, he goes and he's showing a leg lock, and I'm like Chad Chilcote's with me, and I'm like, Chad's like my little brother, I'm like, he's gonna show us a leg lock. This is gonna be, I'm not, like, I have to keep a straight face because you get politics, So anyway, and he literally says, if your leg is shorter than the other guy, you can't do a leg lock. You have to have the longer leg. I'm like, dude, don't tell the entire Japanese continent, every one of them monsters are not that big. Some of the best leg lockers in the world are Japanese guys. And he's sitting there, he's saying like it's a fact. If you have short legs, you can't do this technique. I was like, what is he talking about? So So they have a very
Good to get up,
level of
behave.
understanding. So when they're, you just really don't want to listen to those things. I mean, just take it with a grain of salt, for sure.
How often do you think you'll be coming through this way? I'd like to set something up, man.
Yeah. Man, anytime I come by, and a couple times I come by and it's late, I'll come by and you guys are closed. It seems like for some reason, but if you ever see a black guy riding a horse, it's generally a gated horse, and it's generally looking pretty good. Because, most black people don't ride, but if they do ride, it's generally, so for some reason here in Mississippi, in South Alabama, they're breeding those really nice, fast gated horses to jacks and getting gated mules. There's a ton of good gated mules. That's what I'm getting with that. So I think this area is breeding better gated mules.
I just had to talk my gated mule down for 2 weeks ago.
So for whatever reason, I can come through here and get gated mules. I think it's because a lot of those guys don't have that much money in there, and so their horses are bringing 1,000, 50, and these mules are bringing 5,000, 6,000. So they're like, we're not bringing for gated mules now. And they've always like, why do black people like the fast bracket horses? Well, a lot of gated mules are just kind of this real slow, and it's fine in the old ladies, it's like a little pitter patter, but they're not really gated. And down here they're getting like there's one on the trail, right? It's like 12, 15 miles an hour right down the road. It's gated. So that bloodline that they're breeding down here, it's good. It's working out.